Hello guys, welcome to our channel. My name is Parth Goel and I am presenting this video on behalf of my team. This presentation video will cover the whole journey of an agile development and agile management practices we use to create quiz application by our team. The main logic of our quiz application is to ask 10 randomly shuffled questions to users and assess the score of the user based on the correct answers provided. The work division of our team is on the screen now. Here you can see the responsibilities and tasks of each member. To give you the brief overview of our project, let's go to the GitHub repositories we created. Here we have a repository for client application and server application. From here, Srujana will explain.
Hello everyone, Srujana here. Today let's discuss about the client-side development in our agile methodology. In this assignment, I worked as a front-end developer who is responsible for developing the entire UI of our quiz app. To develop the UI of our quiz app, we have used the React framework. React is a popular JavaScript toolkit for creating the user interfaces. React's component-based architecture makes it an excellent fit for our agile environment. So here is the link to the repository. Also, let's dive into the code. So this is the project structure of our quiz app frontend. In this, we have list of components along with the tailwind CSS, which is used for styling. The main components of our quiz app is login, sign up, leaderboard, main header, and the quiz page. Let's see the demo of our quiz app. So this is how the quiz app looks like. Let's navigate to the sign up page where we can start creating the account. Let's enter all the details here. Let's enter the password. If the password is incorrect, it shows an error message. So let's enter the correct password. If everything is correct, then it will create the account. So hence it is navigated back to the login. Let's enter the same credentials to login. Once we log in, we are landed on the home page. Let's start taking the quiz. So each time when you start a fresh quiz, you have 10 questions to answer. Once you answer all the 10 questions, you can submit your questions. So this is what the results of my quiz. There is a leaderboard feature where we can check who has scored the highest marks. So this is the demo of our quiz app. Next server side part is handled by KU.
Hello, myself Keyur Kadam and I am a backend developer for this quiz application. Here I am talking about the server-side development for a quiz application. I will guide you through our journey of using Flask and MongoDB to create a backend. Well, when we talk about server side of application, we are talking about handling the all important stuff like managing quiz question, managing leaderboard data, and making sure users can log in securely or not. We use Flask for that. The reason we choose Flask because it provides all the functionality that we require for our application to run smoothly. Now, let's talk about the database. We have choose MongoDB to store application data. It's like a super organized storage space that can adapt changes easily without causing any problem. MongoDB was perfect for us because we deal with a lot of different type of data like quiz application question data, leaderboard data, user info, and all that. Making sure everything work right is a super important. So we have used Postman to test our server. Postman is like a superhero tool that let us check if server is doing its job properly or not. It helps us to send requests and see what comes back, making sure everything runs smoothly. But we didn't stop there. We knew that writing a code meant testing it thoroughly. That's why we created a unit test class to put our code through its pace. This test class help us to identify and fix any issue earlier in the development process. Ensure our backend was rock solid before going live. So that's all for all the backend development. Now, Nee will talk about the agile management.
Thanks, KU. My name is Ilesomi Omoni Olasukomi. I'll briefly touch on how Agile shapes our quiz application, ensuring our development aligns perfectly with both our user needs and our strategy. We utilize this Agile Scrum. The Agile framework has transformed our team, enhanced our agility and collaborative spirit throughout the development of our quiz application. This approach has enabled us to consistently deliver high software and Also ensures that our software meets the requirements of the user, because the user requirements often changes. As a product owner, I'm responsible for the backlog. These backlogs actually changes from time to time, and that is where we add the list of things that needs to be done based on the feedback we gathered from the user. Moving next, we have the roadmap. After we've crafted our backlog, we ensure that we have a clear vision of what we can achieve within a time frame. So we try to create a roadmap of what we want to actually achieve. Every sprint starts with a well-defined set of criteria known as a definition of ready. This ensures that tasks are clear, valuable, and visible before each of these tasks are taken by any team member. Also, we have the definition of done, where we share the understanding of what it means for a work on the product increment to be done. In summary, the agile management isn't just about adhering to the process. It is more about flexible planning, team collaboration, and continuous improvement. Talking about improvement, we used Docker in our continuous testing to isolate our environment. This helps us prevent the issue where the developer says it works on my machine but it does not work in production. This bundles everything into the Docker file and the Docker Compose file. Moving on to continuous monitoring. In order to help us monitor our application, we implemented the ELK stack, which is the Elasticsearch, the Logstash, and the Kibana for visualization. And also, alongside with that, we integrated the APM to the application performance monitoring tool, which pushes the operating system metrics to the dashboard. And on the screenshot here, we have the services here, which is the QuickBooks app. And also, we have the endpoints on our application showing here. That shows the health of our endpoints. And in a situation where things go wrong, if any of our endpoints is throwing an exception, we have an alert configured, which is what we did here. We have an alert configured here, and this alert we actually send out an email to the stakeholders because we pre-configured the stakeholders email, which is an example of what it looks like in the Gmail. At this point, I would open the floor for parts.
Thank you, Omoni. Hello again, guys. So let's check out Sprint. In the Sprint methodology, we have three main tasks: Scrum Board, Daily Stand-Up, and Merging. You can see Scrum Board here for every sprint. Daily stand-ups were organized every day to get an update for the product. Merging is an integral part in our task. You can't mess up with that. Here you can see the photos of how merging is done. Sprint retrospectives are again crucial tasks in the agile management to show what we have achieved and what we should improve. You can check the retrospective from all the sprint here. From here, Emmanuel will explain about Git usage.
All right, thank you, Pat, for the introduction. My name is Emmanuel David Tuxa, and I'll be walking us through the Git usage and CI/CD. I'll start with our branching strategy. For branching strategy, we use a trunk-based development approach. In this scenario, the developers created a new branch for each feature that they were working on, and then merged made a PR to the main branch, which served as our staging branch, because we also had a release branch. And so this is an image of some of the branches that were created on the front end and another of those on the back end. For our CI/CD pipeline, we started off trying to implement Jenkins, but due to our space on the server, Jenkins wasn't a viable option because the NPM packages took so much space, and it's something that for each pull request, Jenkins tries to clone on with a different timestamp registry. So it has multiple instances of the same repository. So it was really taking up our space, and we had to switch to the next option, which was GitHub Actions. So we created a workflow YAML file and wrote our script there. This is an example of a script that was successful and the steps that were taken for it. And this is another example whereby the script failed its test. So moving on, we also created our releases on the GitHub. This is an image of the 3 different versions that I release based after each sprint. So after each sprint, we create a release that captures all the features of that particular sprint. For the server, we use Amazon EC2 instance. It was only the server that also said here. For the server configuration, we had to create a service. We used Unicorn and created a Python environment for it. The reason why I used the environment was because if we wanted to create any other instance, it would not have to affect the other instance that is running. So we used the Python environment, created a service for it, a quick service that can be started off, and then this shows that we successfully set up the service and Nginx as our remote proxy. I think my colleague Omoni would has already spoken about the continuous testing and continuous monitoring. I'm going to just show you, this is proof of the space issue we're having, and this was when we were using Jenkins for our flow, and this is a script for it, and this is another script for our GitHub backend.